translating. See that, sir?
Oh. For what?
Because of the wickedness.
Eh?
Wickedness, evil, bad.
Oh.
The bad, yeah. That's it's in the Bible.
Oh, no, it's true. No, it's true, my friend.
See? Yeah. But all the wars and stuff that's going on,
¿Dónde here?
it's not happening here, but it will. A war will happen. Civil unrest will happen here in America, where people will fight against each other because they can't eat, they can't feed their families. It's all gonna come here to America soon.
Okay, my friend.
Yeah. You be safe. All right, shalom. First and foremost, call on Iman, Aina, Yahweh, Bahashim, Hawashai, Bahashim, Hawakatabash. I want to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who on Tisha, and a hearty shalom to the elect. All right, your brother Karatazar back again with another King Day through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shema Hawashai. And I was talking to Issachar, I wish I knew Spanish more abundantly than Hola and Como Esta, but nonetheless, I had the Google Translate thing, and I was telling him, he asked me what I'm doing now here. I told him, hey, America's going to be destroyed by thermonuclear fire. Okay? And when I put it in the little Google Translate thing, he asked why. And I said, because of the wickedness, because of the evil. Right? And the wickedness and the evil has to be expunged out of the world. Okay? This is Ezekiel chapter 35 and verse 1. It says here, moreover, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. And that's what I was telling the young man that was up here, the Issachar dude, right? That America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, right? And on top of that, okay, the wickedness that this place produces is one of the main reasons why it's going to be destroyed. On top of the issues that Esau Edom has put upon the Lord's people, okay? All right, let's get this in Amos. This is Amos chapter 1 and verse 11. It says, thus saith Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4, I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. But I will set a fire upon Teman, and Salakia, which shall devour the palaces of Basra. Okay, this is what's going to happen in America, man. All right, the Lord's going to set a fire to this place, and that fire is going to come by way of thermonuclear missiles. Okay, that fire is going to come by way of war. That fire is going to come by way of these nations not coming together to stand with America with its nonsense. Okay, like you can see now in the news. All right, Donald Trump had reached out to certain countries for help in regards to opening up the Strait of Hormuz, and they all told him no. All right, they all told him no because the nations are sick and tired of being pulled into the wars that America starts. All right, you can see that this war is affecting the resources of the world. All right, if you look and pay attention, natural resources are being destroyed either way. But the oil industry is being caught up in a halt. For one, all the boats that's caught up in the Strait of Hormuz that can or cannot leave, because I don't know what's physically happening there. I don't know. I can only tell you what the news is saying. That's an issue. Okay, that's causing turmoil economically. Gas is continuing to rise. Okay, because those boats can't get in and or out of the Strait of Hormuz. And then you got Iran and Israel and America attacking resource deposits is what I'm going to call it, okay? For because of the act within the acts of war, all right? Those resource deposits go into oil, right? Refinery places, and other things of that nature, okay? All right? They're being attacked by all parties, both Israel and Iran and America, okay? All right? And these things are going to lead to catastrophic effects, okay? All right? One catastrophic effect is the price of things are going to go higher, all right? Such as food. Food is going to cost more to transport, so the prices are going to be lower. The prices are not going to be lower, okay? Gas is going up, all right? In the sense of gas going up, it's going up not just at the pump, but if you have the gas on, guess what? The gas in your house is going to go up, all right? Because the oil that's produced to make that gas or refined to make that, or that's being refined to make that gas is becoming fewer and fewer, okay? All right, food is going to go up. The cost to transport that food is going to go up. And then another reason why food is going to go up, the food prices are going to go up because there's nobody to harvest the land, all right? Donald Trump got rid of all the people that were out there working in the fields, all right? Such as you Issacharites and you other nations, more specifically you Issacharites, all right, that came here, that worked, low-end paying jobs, okay, to survive, all right? Issachar, they were taken out of those fields, and now the food is probably still in the same situation it was when let me not say ICE. When you say Esau stormtroopers, all right, went out and started taking ICE, taking Jake, Issachar more specifically, the Northern Kingdom tribes, from out of those fields, all right? So food prices went up that way, and there's going to be less food as time goes on, and the price of food is going to go up because the demand is high, but the stock is low, okay? All right? These things are going to happen here in America, man. And you as a so-called Native American, Indian, a so-called Hispanic man, all right, or Mexican, all right, and you so-called Negroes, all right, y'all should not be afraid of these things. If you've been serving the Lord, working for the Lord, believing in the Lord, all right, doing your best for you, how about someone ties you, as much as He allows you to do, because there's no such thing as free will, then you don't have anything to worry about. Okay? All right? We'll go back to Ezekiel. This is Ezekiel chapter 12. 5, I know I just did a lot of talking, so this is Ezekiel chapter 35, and verse 3, it says, and say unto it, thus saith Yahweh power, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate, all right? The Lord's going to make this place a waste, desolation, okay? All right? As I was telling that man that America is going to be destroyed by thermonuclear missiles, it looked like he got scared. That is a scary thing to be burned by fire, right? Especially at the rate at the Fahrenheit or the Celsius of 100 million degrees, the same temperature as the sun, right? The surface of the sun. That's going to be hot, man. All right, that's a fearful. You should fear, okay? Because the Lord is the one that's going to do it. Okay. Let me go here to I think it's Luke. This is Luke chapter 12 and verse 1. In the meantime, the point is at 5. It says, in the meantime, when they were gathered together, an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trod upon one another, he began to say unto them, unto his disciples, first of all, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known, right? The Pharisees, they were all about the law, but not having faith, okay? All right? It says here, verse 3, therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light, And that which ye have spoken in the ear and closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. So the things that are being said and done in secret, the Lord's going to reveal those things in due time. Okay, all right. So there's nothing that's going to be hidden from the eyes of Yahweh Shai. Nothing. Okay. It says here, and I say unto you, my friends, be not afraid of them that kill the body, and after that have no more they can do. But I will forewarn you whom you shall fear. Fear him which after he hath killed has power to cast into hell. Yet I say unto you, fear him. Yeah, the Lord can kill you. The Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua can kill you, and then bring you back to life, put you in a new body, just instantly transport you into a new body here, just make you appear in a new body, that same spirit. And right when the nuclear missiles come, that you could get caught up in that. That's who you need to fear. All right, that's who you need to be afraid of. The Lord is the one bringing the judgment, not Esau, Edom. All right, let me look up a few words, okay? All right. Judgment. All right, judgment is here, an act of trying at law, trial, capacity for making decisions now. Okay, penalty imposed by a court, an authoritative decision, a verdict in a case. All right, it says here, in reference to the final trial of human race in a future state. All right, well, the future state is now, okay? And the human trial is also going on right now. More specifically, who's on trial? Esau, Edom, okay? And 2/3 of our people, because the Lord's elect is going to make it through, all right? But we're all on trial. We're all subject to a punishment until the Lord, either delivers us or puts us to death, all right? And either way, okay, if you are elect, your death is going to be one that's going to be mentioned of as a great thing, because you stood for the Lord, you died for the Lord, all right? Second Ezra tells you that he began to commend those that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord, all right? They stood stiffly because they wasn't afraid. And then on top of that, they received the crown of life, all right? With them receiving that crown of life, that's part of their judgment. That's part of their lot, okay? There's people's judgment where they're going to die by a horrible fire. There's people's judgment that's going to come to them dying by pestilences and diseases. There's people's judgments where it's going to come to them by them dying of famine, okay, starvation, hunger, for having a lack of something, okay, that's needed for the body, okay, which is nourishment through food, but the food is all fucked up, just like our minds and our bodies are, okay. When I say they're all fucked up, we just out of whack, man. We got to get out of here, man. America's not it, okay. It never will be it. It never was it, okay. The kingdom of heaven is it. That's the place to be. That's where we need to go. That's where we need to be striving to as men of the Lord, to enter into, if it be the Lord's will, okay. All right. All right. Let me get back into it. All right. Let me go back to Ezekiel. It says here, the Lord's gonna make this place desolate. He's gonna do it with fire. All the buildings that you see, even this one to my right, this one in front of me, the one that's behind me, they're all going to, the one that's to my right, wherever you are, you got buildings, they're all going to be brought down, man. All right, there's going to be missiles flying, hitting this place. And when you see missiles flying, hitting this place, you're going to hear a boom, and then there's going to be a collapse. Okay, a collapse from the missiles hitting whatever target it lands on. And then the buildings that the people are in, the people are going to be caught up in the rubble of those buildings. All right. The scriptures say that the day of the Lord is going to be cruel and very terrible. Let me get that right quick in Isaiah. The day of the Lord is not what Christianity painted it for you, okay, to seem as. All right. This is Isaiah 13, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says the burden of Babylon, and for burden it says in my footnotes, oracle or prophecy against. Okay, so this is a prophecy against Babylon. This is a prophecy against America. Okay, all right. It says here, the burden of Babylon, which Isaiah the son of Amos did see, lift ye up a banner upon the high mountain, exalt the voice unto them, shake the hand, that they may go into the gates of the nobles. I have commanded my sanctified ones. I have also called my mighty ones for my anger, even them that rejoice in my highness. All right. It says, noise of a multitude in the mountains, like as of a great people, a tumultuous noise of the kingdoms of nations gathered together. The Yahweh of hosts mustereth the host of the battle. Right, the Lord is the one that gets all these nations in places to where they're supposed to be. So when the Lord decides to attack, the Lord puts the spirit on people to attack. It's like that game Battleship, right? Where you come out and you just put your places, your little pieces wherever you want, and the other person on the other side does the same thing, and they try to guess where your pieces are so they can hit them, right? The Lord knows where everybody's putting their stuff. The Lord knows where everybody's lining up their ships and their military men on ground, their aircrafts in the sky. All right, the Lord is doing all that. He's controlling all that. And as the Lord controls that, He's going to allow those things to be attacked. All right, whether it be for air offensive means or ground to ground offensive means. What I mean by that is the foot soldiers. Okay. You got battleships that could be shooting, like they did back in the day. They would put a cannonball inside of a cannon and launch it. And now they probably got torpedoes and shit and things of that nature. Okay, all those things is what the Lord's going to use against these nations, for these nations to basically beat themselves into oblivion, or to beat themselves into utter nothingness. Okay. And on top of that, the Lord is going to come do His thing. Okay? The Lord is going to come do His thing with His instruments of war. Alright? The thermonuclear missiles are one of them. Alright? Fire is another one that comes from the thermonuclear missiles. Alright? Famine, that's another one of the Lord's instruments of war. Okay? We also have pestilence and diseases, animals to come out of their places. Once those thermonuclear missiles hit over here in America and wherever else, earthquakes are going to happen. Guess what? That Yellowstone volcano could wake up, okay? All right? It's a lot that could happen that the Lord could use to destroy this place, all right? I know I'm rambling, but nonetheless, it says here, verse 5, they come from a far country, from the ends of heaven, even Yahweh and the weapons of His indignation to destroy the whole land. The Lord's going to have these new intercontinental ballistic missiles shoot from Iran to America. They got hypersonic missiles. The Lord's Spirit is going to be in those missiles to hit wherever the Lord wants them to hit. The Lord is the one in control of these weapons. The Lord is the one in control of these people's minds as far as what's going to hit and where it's going to hit and how it's going to hit and what they're using. Okay? It's all in the hands of Yahweh Shah. Okay? Right? There's nothing that the Lord can't and won't do that's written in these scriptures for His elect, for His people. Okay? It's for His people. It's for the deliverance of Israel. Alright? It's for His people to get up out of here. And we want to get up out of here. You should want to get up out of here. Alright? Because this place is polluted. Like it says in Micah 2:10. Let's grab that right there. then I'll go back to Isaiah. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 10. It says, "Arise ye and depart, for this is not your rest, because it is polluted. It shall destroy you, even with a sore destruction." Okay? That's what's coming to this place. A sore destruction. Okay? What does it say there? It says utter destruction. Alright, it's utter. This place is America is destroying the Lord's people. And this place is going to be destroyed utterly by the Lord. Okay? By the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah, and he's elect me. Okay? Alright? Back in Isaiah, this is Isaiah 13:6. How ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Alright, the Lord is coming to destroy this place. Alright, let me look at this word destruction. Because that's what's coming. Alright, that is what's coming. Now I'm going to show you. How does the Bible describe destruction for Babylon? Alright, so this is what it says. The Bible uses layered, symbolic, and literal imagery to describe the destruction of Babylon. It appears most vividly in prophetic books like Isaiah, Jeremiah, and especially Revelation. The description combines sudden judgment, total collapse, fire, desolation, and divine retribution. Alright, let me see what that divine retribution is about. Alright, I'm not too familiar with that word. Retribution is a punishment. Okay, retribution is a punishment inflicted on someone as revenge for a wrong or a criminal act. Man, Obadiah 1 and 10. Alright, Obadiah 1 and 10. Because of the violence that Esau even has done towards the Lord's people, the Lord's going to pay it back. The destruction of this place is going to be the retribution that the Lord puts upon Esau, Edom, and Arab. Okay? Alright, so it says here, sudden and complete collapse. Babylon's fall is described as unexpected and irreversible. Alright, that reminds me of Isaiah 34. It says, Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. How for her take balm for her pain, if so she may be healed? We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her. Let us everyone go into one country, for a judgment reaching unto heaven and is lifted up even to the skies. Alright, so the judgment of Babylon is irreversible. It will not be healed. Okay? Alright? Like it says over in chapter 15. I was just reading that out of the Bible. Alright? This right here. It says here, meaning, I'm sorry, it says Babylon is fallen, that's Revelation 14 and 18. And it says here, and in 1 hour thy judgment is come. All right. It says here, meaning the system, political, economic, spiritual collapse rapidly, no gradual decline, but a decisive act of Yahweh. Okay, you can see it gradually declining now. Okay, but it's going to further decline. It's going to further decline as this war with Iran continues. All right, because it's going to just bring further economic problems to America. Then people's morality is going to be jacked up because they can't afford to feed their family. All right. Let's see. I'm going to look at that word falling. The word falling in Hebrew is fall. Okay. And it says here, to fall, lie, be cast down. The Lord is casting down the bed. First it started with His word. Well, first it started with Yahweh coming, setting forth that foundation, where with the preaching and teaching and prophesying. And then on top of that, it came from the Holy Spirit being given unto us through Yahweh's sacrifice. And then the example of the Lord's disciples going out there to preach and teach. Okay? And then all the way up until now, where the Lord has His men preaching and prophesying the downfall of this white man's establishment. Okay? All right, the so-called white man's establishment. All right? It says here, to fall, lie, be cast down, to fall of violent death, to fall upon, attack. This place is gonna be attacked. It says in Jeremiah 50 or 51, set yourself on the way against Babylon, all ye that bend the boat. What do you think that means? To set yourself in the way is to be to set yourself in the way. Let me look up that word array. I think it means ready to prepare or something like that. Yep. So it says marshal, array. This is in the etymology. All right. It says to marshal, arrange an army for battle, put things in order. Arrange, get something ready, prepare, equip, fit out. All right, this is what the Lord is doing with those nations. Okay, putting themselves in a way against Babylon. All right, and call all Yahweh Shema for this. All right, because I want to get out of here, man. I want to get out of this place. I want America to be destroyed. I want my people at rest. I want to be at rest. I want my children at rest. I want my parents at rest. Okay, all right. I want everything, I want peace within the world, man. And it's not going to happen with Esau, Edom, and ruling shit. All right, you got people across the world over there getting married, man. What the hell they get married for? America about to be destroyed. There's no joy in that. When all you get, when you get into a contract with the government in this capacity, all you get as the man is to be pillars of your goods, okay? All right? That's all you get, is to be pillars of your goods, okay? All right, so right here it says to overthrow, to throw, to overthrow. All right, that's a few words for the word fallen in the Hebrew, which is the fall. Okay. All right. It says here. Oh. It says destruction by fire. Fire is a dominant image of Babylon's end. She shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is Yahweh who judges her. That's in the book of Revelation. All right, let's look at that word judgment. Okay, because you know it's part of punishment. It's the judgment that's given out is part of a punishment, meaning that whatever the Lord decides that's going to happen, that's the judgment, that's the punishment And then on top of that, it actually happening, the punishment fulfilling itself. It's being fulfilled by prophecy. Okay? You shall be utterly burned with fire. I'm going to read it in the NLT. It says, therefore these plagues will overtake her in a single day, death and mourning and famine. She shall be completely consumed by fire, for Yahweh power who judges her is mighty. Alright? This is what the Lord's going to bring forth to this place, man. You as so-called Negro Latinos and Native American communities, alright, you need to repent from being in a mindset where you think this is going to be the end-all be-all, where your kids are going to continue to grow up here. Your kids are going to make it in some way, shape, form, or fashion in this society that is in all forms that you have seen and unseen, right? Oh, that's buried and covered in wickedness, okay? All right, the word for judge is krino or krino. It says here to separate, put asunder, to pick out, select, choose. To determine, resolve, decree. And the Lord's decree is for America to be judged by fire. All right? And again, call all your Habashim outside for that. Okay? To pronounce judgment, to be subject to censure. All right? Going back to the chat GTP, it says, meaning fire represents divine judgment, purification, and total consumption. Nothing remains of her former glory. Nothing is going to be left here, man. Isaiah the 34th chapter tells you about the smoke cloud. As I was, let me finish reading in Isaiah the 12th chapter. All right, this is Isaiah chapter 13. So like this is Isaiah chapter 13 and verse 6. It says, how ye, for the day of Yahweh is at hand, it shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore all hands shall be faint, and every man's heart shall melt. And they shall be afraid, pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed one at another. Their faces shall be as flames. All right, their faces are going to be as flames because they're going to be literally burned up. That's one aspect of it. All right. Behold, that means look. The day of Yahweh cometh cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinner thereof out of it. This is what's going to happen, man. The Lord's going to lay this place desolate by fire. The destruction is going to come quick and rapidly, right? Like I was reading over here, okay? All right, it says here, her plagues come in one day, and she shall be burned with fire. This back in the chat GTP thing. People can drive out here. I'm sure it's like that everywhere. The word, so going back into the chat GTP, it says becoming desolate and uninhabited. Okay. Oh yeah, it's got a lot of stuff. All right, it's got a lot of stuff. All right, it says here, becoming desolate and uninhabited. Babylon is reduced to a lifeless wasteland. It says here, it shall be uninhabited. Neither shall the Arabian pitch their tent. All right, that's in Isaiah 13. I was reading that. I was reading Isaiah 13. I stopped at 9. It says a dwelling place for demons, a haunt for every unclean spirit. That's in Revelations. Meaning what was once thriving becomes spiritually and physically abandoned, symbolizing total ruin. If what this saying is true, then what's happening over there in ancient Babylon, modern day Iraq, you will see right now. Okay? Alright? And this further should tell you that what's being spoken of about Babylon in regards to future judgments from the prophets of Isaiah, the prophets Jeremiah, and in the book of Revelation from John the Revelator, it should tell you that this is not talking about ancient Iraq, ancient Babylon, okay, and or modern day Iraq, okay. This is talking about America, okay. It says, violently overthrown like a stone cast down. Babylon's fall is compared to something forcibly thrown down and never rising again. All right, let me get a scripture on that. Okay, this is Micah chapter. Yeah, it's Malachi. This is Malachi chapter 1 and verse 1. It says, the burden of the word of Yahweh to Israel by Malachi, I have loved you, says Yahweh, yet ye say, wherein hast thou loved us? Was not Esau Jacob's brother? Says Yahweh, yet I loved Jacob, and I hated Esau, and laid his mountains and his heritage waste for the dragons of the wilderness. Whereas Edom says, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they should build, but I will throw down. Right? Like I was just reading, and it reminds me of reading Revelations about in the 18th chapter about the angel throwing a stone down. All right. It says here, they shall build, but I will throw down. And they shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh hath indignation forever. All right, let me see what we got in Jeremiah 49, 16 to 18. All right, this is Jeremiah chapter 49. Verse 15, for lo, I will make thee small among the heathen and despised among men. Thy terribleness hath deceived thee. Right? What does it say for terribleness? They're fearful, their fierceness. So it says fierceness. And Esau Edom uses his words, his boast, right? He uses the military, he uses economic sanctions to exhibit his fierceness or his terribleness, and that gets nations in line in some sense. But you can see now that these nations are not getting in line with Esau Edom, right? We're not giving a fuck about what America says, right? This nigga Donald Trump was just on TV the other day talking about the Pearl Harbor incident with the Prime Minister of Japan sitting next to him, and a reporter asked him about why do you tell these nations about, you attacking Iran? And he was like, it's a surprise, it's a sneak attack, right? Just something along the lines he said. He said it's like a sneak attack, and the lady, the prime minister, the president, whoever the fuck she is from Japan, was sitting right next to him, and he was like, yeah, why didn't, the Japanese tell me about Pearl Harbor, It was a surprise. It was a sneak attack. He's just throwing shots. He's being a damn tyrant. He's being a base man, right? As he is, as he's supposed to be. Esau is being Esau, right? But things like that, low blows like that, is gonna have these other nations, stop fucking with America, which is cool, which is great, because that's gonna further elaborate to their downfall, man. Then on top of that, I seen something today where Japan was going to start buying, I think, Russian oil in their money currency. All right, or from China. I can't remember what country, but the things are changing, man. Economically for America, for you Americans, man. All right, and it's because of the geopolitical affairs, prophecy first and foremost, then the geopolitical affairs, and then the affairs that's happening in your own in your own front and or backyard. You know, however you want to say it. Right here in America, it's not good for the people that love this place, but it's good for the Lord's elect because the Lord's elect are the ones that's wanting to get out of here, man, wanting this place to be destroyed. All right, praying for the Lord to come and destroy this place. All right. This is Jeremiah 49:16. It says, "Thy terribleness hath deceived thee, and the pride of thine heart, O that dwellest in the clefts of the rocks, that holdest the height of the hill. Though thou shouldest make thy nest among as the eagle, I will bring thee down, saith Yahweh. I will bring thee down from thence, saith Yahweh. Also Edom shall be a desolation. Every one that goeth by it shall be astonished and shall hiss at all the plagues thereof. As in the overthrow of Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighboring cities thereof, saith Yahweh, no man shall abide there, neither shall a son of man dwell in it." And this is what's going to happen in America, man. All right, nothing is going to live here. Nothing's going to, like it says in Isaiah the 34th chapter, you know, there's going to be that line of confusion drawn out, all right, where you're not going to be able to tell what was Texas from North Dakota, okay, all right, and then you have these particular wild beasts living here, you know. Just read Isaiah the 34th chapter. I always read it, you know, when I'm out here, maybe once or twice. One time out here, I always read it, okay, because this is what's going to happen. It's prophecy, man. And that's what the prophets spoke of in the last days. Right? I mean, in our past lives, right? They spoke about prophecy. They kept saying the same things over and over again. Hey, Judah, hey, Israel, repent. The Lord's coming to bring forth destruction. Repent, repent, repent. Things that's being said now are just being echoed from the past, man. Okay? Because Jake is still here doing the same things that they were doing in the past, all right? Nonetheless, what was that? Yeah, I was in Ezekiel Ultimate. This is this is Revelation 18. I'm starting at 15. It says the merchants of these things, if you go back and read, it's talking about resources. If you go back to 12, all right, talking about resources. The merchants of these things, which were made by her, which were made rich by her, shall stand afar off from the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. All right, the torment is going to be that fire that's coming to this place, man. All right, it says here, and saying, alas, alas, that great city that was clothed in fine and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. For 1 hour so great riches is come to naught, and every shipmaster and all the ship and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea stood afar off, and cried when they saw the smoke of her burning, saying, what great city like unto this? What city is like unto this great city? All right, no more money for these other nations. America has become a consumeristic place where everything is just consumed till you're fat and out of shape, and you don't have any, you know, dignity to get up and do something different. You know, America is a place where shit. It's the valley of the shadow of death. America is a low-lying place. Okay, that's what a valley is. America is a low-lying place, spiritually, morally, economically, physically. Okay, all right. It says here, verse 19, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, alas, alas, that great city wherein were made rich wherein were made rich all that had ships in the sea by reason of her coastline is costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. All right, and desolate, it says here in my footnotes, a wasteland. Let me look up what a wasteland is. See if it has any pictures. Wastelands are barren, uncultivated, and degraded lands, that are unusable for agriculture or habitation due to natural causes, aridity, steep slopes, or human actions, deforestation, overgrazing, population. And guess where this is going to come from? Thermonuclear missiles, man. If you look up, the nuclear winter that happens when a thermonuclear missile hits, all right, that they say it lasts for like 10 years, okay? And I don't know how they calculated that when there hasn't been, to my knowledge, any nuclear missiles that have hit this or any place. I'm sure they've done a bunch of testing or whatever, but as far as them, getting that information or the science behind it, because science just means to know, so they know somehow, but I don't know in what capacity. But nonetheless, if you look up a nuclear winter, it goes into the place being a wasteland. All right, America's gonna be a wasteland for this one reason. All right, and I'm sure there's plenty of more. Okay, it says these degraded ecosystems suffer from soil erosion, loss of biodiversity, and reduced productivity. Restoration involves afforestation, soil conservation, and proper land management. This land has never been managed properly. Okay, because if that's the case, like it says in the scriptures, the land will have a land Sabbath every 7 years, like we have a physical Sabbath every 7 days. Okay, all right, it doesn't happen. All right, and if it were to happen in that nature, all right, the fruits and the vegetables and things like that would grow to a point where it's big and you can feed, more than just yourself with that. I can't remember where I saw it, but there was a video on either TikTok or Instagram or whatever where this man, he had let his land have a land Sabbath, and he grew some lemons or some fruits or something. And with him growing these lemons or these fruits, every year they grew, he didn't pluck them. The 7th year after that, he let it grow. After that 7th year, those fruits were so big, it was crazy. But it just goes to show you, the things that the Bible says, if we give the land rest like you get rest, you could be recharged physically and spiritually. Spiritually, it's like sleep. You'll get recharged. But if you give the land rest, it'll bring forth things more abundant for the use of human consumption. All right, in the sense of like their fruit. I'm imagining in my mind it was either apples or lemons or limes or something, but I can't remember what it was. But the whole point is to give the land a land Sabbath. This place is never had one. All right, from my knowings, okay, because everything is being produced with all types of toxic chemicals that's going into the ground. And those toxic chemicals, whether they be preservatives, whatever Monsanto is putting out, that's currently killing the people, all right, it's getting sprayed on the fruits and vegetables, just staying on there, but it's also going into the soil. And then the farmers or whomever, they come through, replant the stuff with replant the ground with new seeds, but those chemicals are still in the ground in some way, shape, form, or fashion. All right, and it's getting back on the food. I want to see if I can find that video. But if I don't, it's all good. All right, that's what the wasteland is. Let's see. So it says two types of wastelands: culturable wasteland and unculturable wasteland. That's what America is going to be, an unculturable wasteland. It says here, areas that cannot be developed for agriculture due to harsh natural conditions such as steep slopes, snow-covered mountains, deserts, or barren rocky terrain, and thermonuclear missiles. All right, and thermonuclear missiles. All right, and thermonuclear missiles. Okay. All right, but let's see if we go back here. It says here. Oh yeah, I was reading. So this is Revelations 18 and 20. It says, "Rejoice over her, thou heaven, and ye holy apostles and prophets, for Yahweh hath avenged you on her." And that's what we waited for, man. The Lord to avenge us, man. Okay, all right. It says here, verse 21, and an angel and a mighty angel, Salakia, took up a stone like a great millstone and cast it in the sea, saying, "Thus with violence shall that great city Babylon be thrown down, and shall be found no more at all." All right, and this is what we waited for, man. All right, this is what we hoping for and praying for. That happens sooner rather than later upon the Lord's return, man. Okay. I'm just looking at the footnotes about there. It says here, violent throat. I read that one. Economic and global warning. Merchants and kings lament Babylon's destruction. The merchants of the earth shall weep and mourn over her. Slakia. Meaning, Babylon represents a global system of wealth and trade. So if it falls, its fall distributes the entire world, disrupts the entire world economy. I'm not sure ever at whatever point this has been made known. I'm sure it has been, but I don't know. Maybe in the past it has. How ancient Iraq, ancient Babylon, has ever been a stable for the world's economy, but the petrodollar, all right, has been a stable for the world's economy. Okay. The greenbacks, all right, is what they call it. Petrodollar is what they call it. All right. This has been a stable for the world's economy. All right. This is why Trump is able to put tariffs on people and make them pay for the import and the export of goods, but those costs only come back to the consumer. Okay, you and me. All right. It says here, number 6, it says divine judgment for sin and corruption. Babylon is judged for pride, idolatry, immorality, and oppression. And who is America oppressing? America is oppressing you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American Indians, man, you tribes. All right? And it's by way of their philosophies, their doctrines, the food, the lack of resources given to you, the negative resources given to you, all right? For one instance, the welfare system, the welfare system was set up to keep the man out of the house, and if the man is out of the house, how's there going to be structure in the house where there's no leader, all right? Where there's no male figure to lead individuals by using logic instead of emotion, I'm not saying women can't use logic but that's more of a pillar for the man to do, okay? All right? That's more of a role for the man to do, all right? Trying to see, this is also part of the welfare system, the food stamp shit, all right? Jake is able to get, it's not just Jake, it's these other nations as well, but I'm just harboring on Jake because that's our people, right? Jake is able to get these stamps from off the taxpayers or whatever, right? And go over there to these stores, Sam's Club, Walmart, Target, whatever, Food Line, Aldi's, Kroger, wherever, right? Super Fresh, King Supers, stores I've seen throughout my life, which is what I'm naming, all right? and they're able to get hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of food every month and become fat and obese. Right? And as they become fat and obese, their children becoming fat and obese. And it's just a thing that's continued to be passed down from as a tradition, you know. But that's also oppression, okay? And at a larger, and looking at it a different way, the healthcare system is oppression. They allow you to consume to the point where you're sick and you feel like do something else or get some type of treatment, but the treatment comes at a cost, a financial cost, and it comes at a health-wise cost, meaning that those medicines have different side effects on your mind and your body. All right, that's also forms of oppression. Okay, if the Lord allowed me to, man, I can just sit here and think of many more things, man. Okay. Don't forget about the education system, the media, whether it be music, what's being put on the television, what you consume through your phones. Okay, the education system, things are always repeat. Okay, they're fucking with your mind. They're fucking with the Lord's people. It's all oppression. Okay, let me look at that word oppression right quick. Word for oppression is prolonged, cruel, or unjust treatment or control. It's unjust treatment for a man to be kicked out of his household for a failed relationship. Cool, I got it, right? I understand it, right? But then for that man to not be able to try to reconcile anything for the sake of his family because a woman got on, she put herself in the welfare system, all right? That's prolonged mistreatment. All right, that's prolonged control, all right, which is part of oppression, okay, based on what the definition says, all right. So it says here in Revelation 18:5, let me get it, because it just keeps pulling up precepts, and I'm just reading out the Bible instead of. Anyway, it says here, Revelation 18:5, says, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and Yahweh hath remembered her iniquity. And I just read some of what those transgressions were in regards to the lines of oppression. In regards to the lines of idolatry, our people worship Jesus Christ. Our people don't want to turn to the true power in this kingdom. Right? And the true power's name is Yahweh. It's not God. God just means power, judge. Okay? Right? Yahweh means he is, he to be, he exists. Moses told the Israelites what the name of the Lord was when Moses asked the Lord what his name was. Okay? All right? It says here, let me keep going. Verse 6, it says, reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her, double according to her works. And the cup which she filled with her, she had filled to her double. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much turmoil and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit in queen and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. And that's part of pride, saying that, okay? The Lord hasn't allowed these other nations to touch you physically yet, this land, all right? Their weapons of destruction, but that day is coming, that there has always been some type of skirmish here on the land amongst the people, right? Like civil wars. I'm thinking about, those Indian American wars, those Mexican American wars, right? Those are all from countries that's within the continent, on the continent of America, all right? North America, meaning wherever we're at, Canada, all right, and South America, that's all the same continent. Okay. All right. It says here, meaning the destruction is not random. It is measured justice for accumulated wrongdoings. All right. It says here, not verse 7, but number 7 in the ChatGPT thing. It says here, comparison to Sodom and Gomorrah. Babylon's destruction parallels total annihilation. All right, again, this is just another key indicator. All right, the scriptures say the Lord's going to do like He has done Sodom and Gomorrah. It's going to make it inhabitable. All right, I think I read that earlier. Nonetheless, ancient Babylon is still being inhabited. I've been there 3 times. All right, twice. I've been there. Okay, so and people are still there. So this is not talking about ancient Babylon. It's talking about America. Okay, you can look up people living in modern day Iraq, ancient Babylon. You can still see people there. There were just attacks on ancient Babylon, modern day Iraq, because of the war that's happening with America, Israel, and Iran. If there were no people over there, they would not be attacking that place. If there were no resource refinement places over there, such as for oil or some type of other resource they have over there, there would be no attacks over there. That should just tell you that is another key indicator that this portion, that when it speaks about Babylon, is not talking about ancient Babylon. All right. It says Babylon's destruction parallels total annihilation. And it says here in Jeremiah 50 and 40, let me go ahead. Jeremiah 50. This would be what Isaiah said. All right, this is Isaiah. This is Jeremiah 50 and I'm gonna just start at 33. It says here, we start at 30. It says 31. It says, behold, I am against thee, O thou most proud, saith Yahweh, power of hosts. For thy day is come, that the time that I will visit thee. And for visit, it says punish. All right. It says here, and the most proud shall stumble and fall, and none shall raise him up. And I will kindle a fire in his cities, and it shall devour all round about him. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all they that took them captives held them fast, and they refused to let them go. Israel, the northern kingdom was not oppressed by the Babylonians. All right. The northern kingdom was oppressed by the Samaritans. Oh no, by the Assyrians, Salakia, okay? All right. Judah, the southern kingdom, was oppressed by the Babylonians. All right. This is another good indicator to tell you, right, that ancient Babylon is not being spoken of here. Because here in the land of America, both Judah and Israel, both the northern and southern kingdom, are being oppressed by the so-called white people, by the Israelites, okay? Right? It says here, verse 34, their Redeemer is strong, Yahweh of hosts is his name. He shall thoroughly plead their cause, that he may give rest to the land and disquiet the inhabitants of Babylon. A sword is upon the Chaldeans, saith Yahweh, and upon the inhabitants of Babylon, and upon her princes, and upon her wise men. A sword is upon the liars, and they shall dote, and it says, be fools. And that word for liars goes into their soothsayers, all right? The fortune tellers, all that bullshit that the Lord tells you try to stay the fuck away from, all right? That idolatry, that magic, that's what it is. You shouldn't be participating in any type of magic bullshit, okay? Anyway, verse 37, it says, a sword is upon their horses, and upon their chariots, and upon the mingled people that are in the midst of her, and they shall become as women. And it says, a sword is upon her treasures, and they shall be robbed. A drought is upon her waters, and they shall be dried up. For it is the land of graven images, and they are mad upon their idols. You a motherfucker will fight you for Jesus Christ, man. All right, niggas will die for Jesus Christ. They'll give all their money for Jesus Christ. They'll do whatever they got to do for Jesus Christ. Like there's this Issacharite dude, man. All right, he got Jesus Christ tattooed on his motherfucking face. All right, that nigga is mad about Jesus Christ, and he go around doing a robot and all this shit, talking about some Jesus Christ. If I can find that shit. Yeah, nigga Jake is wild, man. All right. And it says here for the word mad, it says insane with. These motherfuckers is crazy out here. Nonetheless, verse 39, it says, therefore the wild beasts of the desert with the wild beasts of the island shall dwell there, and the owls shall dwell there, and it shall be no more inhabited forever, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Now, if this was talking about ancient Babylon, why aren't we seeing or hearing about the wild beast that's over there? Why are there still people over there? All right. Why was there war going on over there in the early 2000s? All right. If this was talking about ancient Babylon, all right. Verse 4, Yahweh overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah and the neighbor cities thereof, saith Yahweh. So shall no man abide there, neither shall any son of man dwell therein. All right, and that's what's gonna happen. All right. It says here, going back into the chat GCP thing, it says that this signals complete irreversible devastation, a benchmark for divine judgment. It says, bottom line, biblically, Babylon's destruction is portrayed as sudden, happens in 1 hour, total, nothing remains, fiery, consumed by judgment, desolate, never inhabited again, final, no rebuilding. All right, and I think I read that in Malachi, Micah. All right, and then justified punishment for deep corruption. Yeah, this is all the stuff that's gonna happen to America, man. Lord will it be here sooner rather than later, man. Shit, I be thinking in my mind, man, this year, hopefully next year, you know. So I'm ready for the Lord's kingdom to come. But nonetheless, Lord will you is edified. I want to give all praise and honor and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Harakah Kodash. I want to give double honors to the